So hi everyone, how are you guys doing? Okay, so first of all, let me welcome you guys again on the JEE English, a channel which is a brand new channel by Unacademy, which is India's largest online learning platform for IIT JEE. And now this is a MCQ strategy series that I'm hosting. Okay, here I tell you quick hacks of how you should attempt your paper and how to maximize the marks. Okay, so throughout the year, I keep telling my students to work hard, work hard, work hard. But now, towards the end stages, when the exam is so near, now is the time to work smart. So today we'll be talking about how you can use options in MCQs. So how can you get to your answers just by paying a little bit of attention to MCQs? Okay, so on in the options given in your MCQs. So this is a strategy that works very well. This will save you a lot of time and help you maximize your number of attempts. All right. Before we get started with this session, let me introduce myself for those of you who don't know me yet. So again, my name is Rohit Dixit. I studied mechanical engineering from IIT Delhi. So hi AP, good evening Roshan, how are you? And I have been teaching physics for almost 8 years now for all the competitive exams. So I myself was All India rank 447 and All India rank 192, and this exam was the objective paper. This was a subjective paper. So back when I took JEE, so they used to have two stages, one subjective, one objective. So turns out I was pretty good with objective papers and I secured a better rank in the objective paper. All right. Anyhow, I also qualified NTSC stage 2, which stage 1 and stage 2 are also objective papers, MCQs, and I was in the top 1% of the NSCP, which also is a MCQ kind of a paper. So I have always been pretty good at solving MCQ kinds of papers all my life. So here are some tips from my side. So anyhow, so first tip is that if you want your studies not to suffer during the lockdown and you want your studies to go smoothly even in this lockdown, the first thing that you should be doing is getting yourself the Unacademy subscription. This subscription will help you with benefits like live classes where you get to interact with your educators. Then you have live polls and leaderboards, you have test series and analysis, and you have live doubt clearing sessions. So along with these benefits, your preparations for JEE will go very, very smoothly. Now, along with these benefits, now you also get a chance to study from the topmost educators all across India from the comfort and safety of your home just by buying this Unacademy subscription. Okay. So how do you go about getting yourselves the Unacademy subscription? So that is very, very easy. The first step is you will need to install the Unacademy app. The moment you do that, you unlock yourself loads of free features, which include free courses, okay, and special classes and quizzes. Okay, so these features you can access just by downloading the app. Okay, and that is it. So you can unlock all of these free features also using my code RD Live. Okay, so that is a chance for you to get an experience of how it is going to be when you get yourself the Plus subscription, right? So if you like that subscription, if you would like to enroll in Plus courses, then you need to get follow these steps. Go to the Plus section of your app, select your goal as IITJ, and click on Get Subscription. Now, the moment you do that, you'll be redirected to the payment page where you will have a box which will say, "Do you have a code?" So there you can put this code RD Life, which will give you a 10% off on all your subscription fees. All right, now you can choose from two kinds of subscriptions, Plus or Iconic, and you can also choose from a lot of no-cost EMI options available after you click on that Proceed to Pay button. All right, so Iconic subscription being something new, let me tell you about that quickly. So the Iconic subscription is something that will take your IIT preparation to the next level. How does it do that? So you'll be allotted a lot of actually a team of personal coaches, okay, who will closely mentor you and guide you through your IIT journey. Now, you'll also be attending a lot of IIT workshops, receiving timely expert guidelines, getting a study planner, and getting regular text analysis sessions. All right, so all these benefits will definitely help you. Hello, Lokesh, I am good. How are you? All these benefits will, as I said, take your IIT preparation to the next level. Now, another chance for you to earn this subscription and test your knowledge and test your standing amongst your peers is by taking part in the Unacademy Combat. The next Unacademy Combat event is going to happen live on the 3rd of January. You can now enroll that right away using the code RD Live. Do well in that and win yourself some really cool prizes, including year-long subscriptions. Next, if you're following us on the JEE English channel of YouTube, then you can connect with us on the Telegram app using that link so that you are getting all the timely notifications of all of the amazing sessions that are happening here so that you're not missing out on anything. Okay, so let's see what Lokesh has to say. Lokesh says, I came to know that in Delhi it is very cool, sir. Yes, 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 it is. It is, in fact. Oh, I am shivering, you know. It is in fact very cold. Anyhow. So hi Amod, hello to you. So where are you from, Lokesh? All right. So are you guys ready to know how you can use options in MCQs to get your answers? So let's get started. Okay. So pay attention to the things that I have to say. These have been developed by experience and years of teaching also. All right. So pay very close attention. You will need to be very careful while using these techniques. Okay. So the first is, as I said, okay, let's. So JEE is a time-bound competitive exam, right? So that's an issue. So not only it's a time-bound exam, it's a highly competitive exam with almost 10 lakh students fighting for those top 10,000 ranks, right? So this needs special strategies. Now, the aim is to maximize the attempts so that you stand to get as good a rank as you can, right? Trust me, in my experience, most of the people struggle to even attempt 50% of the paper. Why? Because some of the questions are very lengthy, you may take a lot of time. So here are some tips wherein you can just use the options, save yourselves the time, and try and maximize the number of attempts. Now, using the options given in the question can be a great way to not only save time, but often even find the correct answer without even knowing the solution. So sometimes you will be able to find the solution of answer for the questions that you don't know how to solve. Okay, so sometimes it will help you save time. It will help you identify the answer very quick. Other times it will help you identify the answer when you don't know anything. Okay, all right. Okay. So you are in Hyderabad. So how's the weather there? Yeah, I've heard of Warangal, of course. All right. So how is the weather there? How are you feeling? Let me know. Are you feeling all Christmassy? Okay. Again, now I will talk about the hacks that you can use in order to achieve all this. All right. So first trick is using substitutions. Okay. So if you know some common results, then you can simply find the answer by substituting some test values in the options. Okay. Now the questions with graphs usually are very easy to solve using this method. Second, substitution along with some basic knowledge and common sense can pinpoint the exact answer, if not reduce the options or eliminate few options. Okay, so that will be a great strategy towards problem solving. Now one tip, you can always try substituting values like 0 and infinity. Trust me, that works. So we will take a look at some of the problems and how we can use the options to find the answers. Okay, so here is an example. Here is a question that was asked in JEE 2002. Okay, so that time it was called AI. Okay, so this was asked. We are taking up actual problems that have been asked in JEE. Okay, and we are going to see how we could have just used options and found the answers. Okay, so the question says a lift is moving down with an acceleration A. A man in the lift drops a ball inside the lift. Okay, and the acceleration of the ball as observed by the man in the lift and the man standing stationary on the ground are respectively. So let's first understand the situation. So you have a man here. Okay, the man dropped a ball, so the ball is going down. Now the lift is moving down with an acceleration A. Okay, this is the given information. The lift is moving down with an acceleration of A. Now another man is standing on the ground. Okay, so you have been asked what will be the accelerations of the ball with respect to this guy. Let's call this observer number one, and this guy, let's call this observer number two. So even if I don't want to solve this, even if this may be an easy question to solve, oh, that's pretty cool, Lokesh. Yeah, 20 to 25 degrees must be pretty pleasant. Yeah, here it is. I think around 10 degrees or less, maybe even. So let me just quickly check. Oh no, it's not that bad. It's above 10 degrees. Okay. So yeah, it's 13 degrees right now. All right. So as I was saying, so first let's use some common sense. You realize the value of the acceleration due to gravity or the acceleration of the ball as seen by observer number two would be simply g. This much common sense you should have, right? It should not depend on this value, right? With the acceleration with which the lift is moving has got nothing to do with what this guy will see as the ball to be moving with, right? So I can definitely know that the acceleration seen by this guy is definitely g. So that eliminates this option. Okay. So now I have three options still. Okay. So this, and this. Now you realize the acceleration as seen by this man should depend on A. Okay. Can I say that logically? I can say two things logically. So I can simply logically conclude, acceleration acceleration of ball as seen by 2. Acceleration of ball as seen by 2 should be G. Okay, that should not depend on the acceleration of the lift. And as seen by A by 1 should depend on A. So can I just quickly think of these things? That acceleration as seen by observer number 1 should depend on his own acceleration, right? All right. So obviously then this cannot be the correct answer. So it either has to be this or has to be this. Now a simple substitution will work. Now do a simple substitution. Let A be 0. So put the value of A as 0. If the lift was not accelerating, if the value of the acceleration becomes 0, then both the guys should see G, right? Both the people should see the same acceleration, G. So that immediately tells me the correct answer is C. Just by logical reasoning, even if I did not know how to solve this, how to form the equations, if I knew a few common results and if I could use some common sense. So let's just substitute A equals 0 and A equals 0. At A equals 0, both the people should see G. Right? At A equals 0, both the people should see G, and I have eliminated the rest of the options by other methods. So I have narrowed down the answer to option number C. So I won't even solve this. I will straight away go ahead and say that the answer is C. So this is a trick that you can use if you're running out of time, you don't have the time of doing calculations, or if you think in your calculations you make a lot of mistakes. So did you guys follow this? So do you guys like this? Turns out the actually answer is C. But I did not write any equation to get that answer. I just used logic. And all I did was a small substitution where I put A equals 0. Now you can even try this. You can try this. If A is 0, then you realize that this guy should see G, right? So acceleration for this guy should be G for A equals 0. And for A equals G, the acceleration should be 0, right? Okay, for A equals G. You could have used this also. You could have used this also. If the acceleration of the lift is G, if the lift was falling freely, then the acceleration as seen by the man should have been 0. Okay. So just put in these values. I know that the first answer, the first part should be, if I put A as 0, A as 0 should have given me answer of the first part as G, and A as G should have given me the answer of the first part as 0. So only this and this. These two options satisfy these values, okay? So you could have used either of these, and from there you know that this is incorrect because the acceleration as seen by the man on the ground has to be G. Okay, so here are your methods of substitution. This would have helped you find the answer. Okay, so family home says, sir, I have solved Irodov and DC Pandey completely. What shall I solve next? How is reserve rank booster material? Okay, so I don't really know much about that. I haven't done much research on that. What you can do is, I think you can go for something like physics galaxy. Okay. Hello, Shiv. So no, we are not talking about NLM. We are just talking about general tricks to help you get to the answers. So did you guys follow this, by the way? Did you guys follow this logic? That can I say, if the acceleration of the lift is 0, then the man should see the acceleration of the ball as G, and if the lift was in free fall, then the man should have seen the acceleration of the ball as 0. It would have fallen freely with respect with the ball itself. So just using these substitutions, I can figure out that the correct answer is this. Okay, these two substitutions would have immediately given me the answer. Physics Galaxy, what's that? So that's a book by Mr. Ashish Arora. So he has got a great collection of problems for Olympiads and advanced. So that gives you a good collection to practice. Okay, but that usually involves a lot of tough problems. So you should only do that after you have solved your DC Pandey Nirudo, which you have done in any case. Okay. So that's a book. That's a physics book. Again, that's a book more relevant for JEE Advanced and Olympiads. So you can't be solving that at any stage of your competition or your preparation, that is. So let me know if you guys followed this trick. Do you have any doubts about this? Do you guys agree with this? So if this trick, the first trick is clear, then I will move on to the next question. I will then solve the next question using another trick. Okay, let me know. Let me know fast. Did you guys follow this trick? Okay, great. Now let's take a look at this question. Is from, yes, it is from Newton's laws, but we are looking at not the traditional ways of problem solving shift. We are looking at how to figure out the answers but just by using options without having to solve the question. Okay, that is the idea. This question was asked in JEE in 2002. Or that time it was called AIEEE. So this question was asked in AIEEE in the year 2002. All right. Okay, so here is another question. Here is another question which you don't need to solve. You could have just figured out the answer using the options. Okay. Again, so this is a chapter which is rotation, of course. The question says initially the angular velocity of a circular disk of mass capital M is omega 1 when two small spheres of masses small m are gently attached to diametrically opposite points of the edge of the disk. What will be the final angular velocity of the disk? Okay, got it. This was again asked in AIEEE in the year 2002. So we are taking up actual questions that have been asked in JEE. So this was asked in AIEEE exam, which was essentially the mains, which was the name of the mains exam in 2002. So okay, I hope everybody understood the question. Question is, you have a disk of mass capital M. So this is rotating with some angular velocity omega 1. Now you gently place two identical masses on diametrically opposite points. So small m and small m are gently placed here. What will happen to the angular velocity of the disk after I have done that? Okay. So now let's just see the options. And can I say what happens if small m is 0? Now, if the mass that I'm putting here is 0, then obviously the angular velocity should not have changed. Basically, it means I did not add anything, right? Agreed. So if m is 0, I can say that omega should be equal to omega 1, right? Now let's check out the options. So this option definitely qualifies for this. If m is 0, then omega is equal to omega 1. This does not. This also does. This also does. So I have already eliminated one option just by substituting small m as 0. Okay. Okay, so C. Okay, family home says C. All right, we shall see about that. Second thing that I can do is, what if my small m is infinite? What if my small m is infinite? So if, again, always try to substitute these values, 0 and infinite. If capital small m is infinite, if I'm adding infinite mass to the disk, then you realize it should stop. It cannot rotate. So omega should be 0. So let's substitute. Do I get that here? No, I don't. So if a small m is infinite, then this does not reduce to 0. So this is eliminated. Okay. For small m equals infinity, this and this option still hold true. So I've suddenly eliminated two options just by substitutions of 0 and infinity. Now my correct option has to be either C or D. So again, now see, if I did not have the time to make the calculations, then I have immediately, but just by doing these substitutions, have reduced or eliminated two options. Now I can take a chance, take a guess also. Yeah, you could have chosen any of these. Both of these so far seem to be correct. Both of them may be correct. Now you could have even gone for a guess. Okay. So why you should have gone for a guess? because you already have a 50% chance of getting this right. So instead of solving, and after solving also, you're not sure if you'll arrive at the right answer, right? So if you have two options of either spending 2 minutes and maybe having a chance of getting this right 90%, also, even if you have 90% accuracy, then just by looking at the options within like 10 seconds, you have a 50% chance of getting this right. So trust me, I think those are the chances where it is worth taking. So I could have gone for either C or D, wouldn't have mattered. Okay. एक क्वेश्चन पूछता हूँ related to COM. अभी रुक जाओ, let's just discuss a few problems. Okay. So this is another way. So as I said, try using these kind of substitutions, zero and infinite, and you will more often than not be either to reduce at least two options or sometimes even pinpoint the exact answer. Okay, so use this, but use this smartly. Okay. Now let's talk about another one. So here is another question. Again, you can look at your options and smartly see. So this was asked in JEE Mains 2020, by the way. Okay. So here it says a thermodynamic cycle is shown in the VT diagram. Okay. The corresponding PV diagram is, so the first simple thing is you have V here, you have V here also. So see a process where V is constant. So you can realize in the process YZ, V is constant. Okay. So Y to Z, V is constant. Now, if you take a look at your options, in this from Y to Z, V is varying. So this obviously cannot be the correct answer. In this also from Y to Z, V is varying. So this is also not the correct answer. This can be, okay, this can be. So I have immediately eliminated two options without even bothering about anything else, just by paying attention to my options. Okay. Do you get that? Now, second thing is very, very easy to see. All I need to judge is, so at this point, the pressure at Y is shown higher, and this point, the pressure at Y is shown to be lower than Z. So if I just have to check where the pressure should be lower, then you know, if you just remember P equals nRT over V. Now the V is same at both the places. At Z, T is less. So the pressure would be less at Z. So can I say P at Z would be less than P at Y? Right? The only option that exhibits that is this, option number C. So my option C is the correct answer. As simple as that. Again, it's just by looking at your options a little carefully, you can save a lot of time. Okay. Or tomorrow. Okay. So what is the question that you have? Yeah, but suppose exactly. You can use Charles' law just for that. Exactly. At constant V, you know that wherever the temperature is less, the pressure would be higher. Absolutely, family home. So that's it. I just need to find the right process. Just one process. I can only focus on one process and find the answer. I don't even need to focus on the rest of the two processes. Okay. So that's one great way of doing it. All right. How about this one? So why don't you guys try this one? This was asked in AIEEE exam in 2006. Why don't you try this? Now this says consider a two-particle system with particles having masses m1 and m2. If the first particle is pushed towards the center of mass to a distance d, by what distance should the second particle be moved so that the center of mass remains at the same position? Okay. Do not actually solve this. Just try and figure out from the options. Okay. Just try and answer from the options. Forget about writing any equations. Okay. What do you think would be the answer? Alright, A dash. पूछो एक question जो भी आपका था COM से related. Ask away, please. Ask away. जल्दी पूछो. Let's take a look at your question. Alright. Can you do something from the options? Okay, let's again try and draw the situation first. है ना? हमेशा ये करो. So M1 यहाँ है, M2 यहाँ है. So let's place two masses M1 and M2. और ये आपका D, ये आपका कहीं center of mass है. Let's say, and this guy was shifted by D. How much will this shift? Right? This was asked. So okay, family home says D. Okay, let's see. Now my logic is we know if M1 equals M2, है ना? अगर ऐसा हो जाता, if M1 was equal to M2, so you know the center of mass lies exactly in the middle. I hope you know that. Again, you, without knowing anything, you cannot use these tricks. You have to have some basic knowledge, as I said. So you know that if m1 equals m2, then the answer should have been D. Then your answer should have been D. Okay, agreed. Now, if m1 was 0, then m1 was 0. If m1 was 0, then what should have been my answer? Then answer should have been 0, right? Agreed. So just use these two. Then it is A option. No, 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 no. See, for what option? For what option can you satisfy both these values? Now, see for this. So only option number D is satisfying these two values. So that's it. D is my answer. Got it? Got it? Only option D is satisfying both these. So I won't even solve this. I will just make these two substitutions. Okay, and get the final answer. Okay, got it? Hmm? Is this clear? Is this approach clear? So I did not have to solve it one bit. I just made two standard results I knew. Two standard results I knew. ओके अगर मासेस इक्वल होते तो डी होता, अगर एक मास जीरो हो गया तो दूसरा भी जीरो, मूव ही नहीं करना मुझे, राइट? So yes, absolutely, absolutely. So I just used two standard, very well-known results, and I could immediately get the answer. Okay. Yes, yes, absolutely, family home, absolutely, family home. And I also, I'm saying, I don't know how you got to the answer, whether you actually calculated it. All I said was I figured it out from the options only. In the given options, for m1 to be 0 and m1 equals m2, the only option that is satisfying both these values is D. Okay. All right. How about the next one? Now, this is very, very simple again. So, this was asked in JEE, again, AIEEE 2004. So, this is also an actual problem, okay, from JEE. So, it says, suppose the gravitational force varies inversely with nth power of the distance. Then the time period of a planet on a circular orbit of radius r around the sun will be proportional to. So, if you know delta QM equals absolutely family home, but I don't need to do any calculations. See, the topic that we are discussing today is that how can we find the answers just by looking at options without having to solve this. Suppose I did not know that. Suppose I did not know that when delta CM is 0, then I need to do this equation. Okay, or I did not have the time for this. Okay, then what? Okay, so yes, absolutely, you are absolutely right. If I knew the concept, I would have done that. But if I did not know this, if I just knew two facts, I can logically get the answer, right? Next, let's talk about this one. Here it says, suppose the gravitational force varies inversely with nth power of the distance. Then the time period of revolution around the sun will be proportional to. Now, if you remember your Kepler's law, for Kepler's law, you know the answer that t square is directly proportional to r cube. So you know t is directly proportional to r to the power 3 by 2. So I know if n is 2, then the answer comes out to be 3 by 2. Correct? Correct. Okay, sir, this could be easily done in mind only. Also, didn't solve. Yeah, I understand. See, I know. Those who know the concept would and have a good practice don't probably need this. This is for, saving time if you don't want to think about it, if you don't remember. Sometimes it happens you are under so much pressure you can't remember the formula. So it is, these tricks are for those times, if you are under tremendous pressure and you don't know how to, approach this. Again, something like this. Here, if n equals 2, the power is 3 by 2. So substitute n equals 2. For n equals 2, this is coming out to be 3 by 2. For n equals 2, this is coming out to be 1 by 2. For n equals 2, this is coming out to be 0. This is coming out to be 2. So the only answer is this. Now, without even solving, I can say the answer for this is A. Okay, sir, I asked, please see up. Okay. So non-uniform rod linear density is lambda is equal to 2x. Find the center of mass. Okay, I think I have covered something like this in my session. So all you can do is you can just go and watch my lecture on COM. Okay. So center of mass is very, very easy. Okay. So you should know XCM is integral XDM over DM. Okay. So that this is what you need to use. I have solved an exact such question in my discussions where I had taken lambda equals AX. So I had taken lambda as AX, you have A as 2. So you can look up that solution. Okay. Go to my lecture on COM and you will find the answer of this there. Okay, A dash. All right. Did you realize this one? How we quickly solved this one? If I remember Kepler's law, then I know Kepler's law is true for Newton's law of gravitation. So I know in Newton's law of gravitation, n is 2. So I know if n is 2, then this is the result that I should get. So all I need to do is substitute the value n of n as 2 in all my options. Only one option is giving me 3 by 2, so that is the only correct option. Got it? I can immediately tell you the answer without having to solve it one bit. Yes, I saw your question, A. I saw your question. I have solved such a question exactly in my discussion. Okay. So tell me if you followed this. This was like one of the easiest ways of solving this. I don't have to spend any time on solving this. Just substitute n as 2. Only one option is giving the standard Kepler's law result. Okay. So this is a great way of saving time. And of course, you can get this within like 10 seconds. Okay. Just in 10 seconds, you can get the answer and just move ahead. All right. So this will save time. I'm not saying you can't solve it otherwise. Okay. Next is the process of elimination. So eliminating options is another great way of making a smart guess in multiple choice in MCQ questions. Okay. Whenever you're not sure about the right answer. So again, for all these tricks, okay, family home says, sir, I am very excited to give 5 means. I feel I will score 99 percentile this time. Why only 99? Go for 100. Go for 100. Take 100 as your target. Always aim for the moon. All right, don't worry. Be confident. So again, whenever using any such tricks, you will have to use common sense and pay attention. Another way of doing it is by paying attention to the dimensions. So a lot of times, dimensional formulae will reveal the answers. Okay, so let's again take a look at some examples. Okay, so this one says a spring balance. Again, this was also asked in AIEEE in the year 2003. Okay, so again, these are all the questions that have actually been asked in JEE. Okay. I am not prepared with inorganic. That's why. So you still have 2 months, family home. Go and crush inorganic chemistry in 2 months. Okay, don't worry, don't worry. You will be able to do it. Trust me, 2 months is more than enough. More than enough. Okay. So make sure you are spending some time daily, giving some time daily to inorganic, and you'll be fine. Well, I said, now let's take a look at this question. This says a spring balance is attached to the ceiling of a lift. Man hangs his back on the spring and the spring reached 49 newtons. All right. Now the lift was stationary. Now, if the lift starts to move downwards, then what would be the reading of the spring? So I hope you should know that if lift goes down, weight reduces, right? This you should remember at least. If the lift goes up, the weight increases. All right. I hope you remember this. At least this you should remember. Okay, this much you should remember for solving this. That when a lift is accelerating upwards, then the weight increases. And if the lift is accelerating downwards, then the weight decreases, right? So obviously the weight would be less than 49. If for a stationary lift, the weight was 49. So while going down, the weight would be less than 49. So this and this are easily eliminated. Now of these options, what you can usually do is you can pick the option which is closer to this. So you have three options. One is 49 and two options which are close to this and one option far away. Usually the far away option can be ignored. Okay, it is less likely. It is less likely. So if I had to go for an answer, I would have just gone for this. Okay, just by looking at the options. Yes, A. Okay, so Lokesh says we can eliminate directly 30, 72 Newton, 74 Newton rather, and 49 Newton. Yes, absolutely. And out of the two, if I had to choose, I would have simply gone with A, the option which is closer to the other options. Okay, the option which is closer to the other options. Okay, family home. So unfortunately, I think Rahul sir only teaches physical chemistry. I think, if I am correct. I don't know if he will be teaching inorganic or not. Okay. All right. So if I have narrowed it down to two options, then what we usually want to do is we want to select from the closer options. So one option is close to this on the upside, one option is close to this on the downside. So most likely this would be the correct option. Okay. So if I had to choose between A and C, I would have personally gone for A. Okay. And this is how I would have solved it just by looking at options without even having to solve it. Let's move ahead. Again, a very, very simple question. Again, this may require a lot of time, a slight bit of time towards calculating. Okay, so what? So no, sir. He said he will teach in organic. He was already okay. All right, then that's good. That's good. All right. Moving ahead. Moving ahead. Let's talk about another one. This question says a smooth block is released from rest at a 45-degree incline and then slides a distance d. Okay. Now the time taken for it to slide is n times the time taken to slide on a rough incline than on a smooth incline. So first of all, we are talking about sliding. So if we are talking about sliding, the coefficient of friction that you will be measuring has to be mu k. Okay, they have to be talking about mu k because we have to analyze sliding motion. So there is no way I could have been able to judge mu s. So I can already eliminate these two options. Just by reading my question, I can eliminate these two options. Okay. And then I can simply choose any one of them. So let's go for C. Okay. And you will notice that C is the correct answer. Okay. So again, this is elimination, which would help you reduce the options. Then take a smart guess. Just take a guess. Take a wild guess. Okay. And that is it. This just increases your chances of making attempts. No family home. C is the correct answer, turns out. C is the correct answer. Okay. All right. But at least you could have immediately eliminated A and B. And at least you would have just after reading the question, you would have eliminated two options. You would have narrowed it down to either C or D, and then you at least have a 50% chance. Rather than not attempting this question, you have a 50% chance of getting this right. So always go for it. Now, even if there is negative marking, even if there was negative marking, go for it. Why? Suppose the negative marking is +3 -1. Okay, that's the standard marking. So +3 and -1. The logic of that is that if you are making a random guess, then your probability of getting it right is 25%. So 25% of you getting it right, and 75% you get it wrong. Correct. That is the logic behind this kind of marking. Right. So in every four questions, you will get one right and three wrong. So if you're just making guesses, then your sum total would be zero. So that is called the expected value. Expected value of guesswork here is zero. Value is zero. So if you're making random guesses, then you're expected to make zero marks, right? But if imagine you have 50% probability. So if, however, probability of getting correct is 50%, 50% right and 50% wrong, then what you realize is that out of every two times you are making such guesses, you are getting +3 and -1. So for every two attempts, you end up with +2 marks for every two guesses. Okay, get it? So for every one question, so you are getting +1 per question, +1 mark per question. So that makes it worth making those guesses. So if suppose you had like 20 questions left in your paper and you did not know or did not have the time enough to solve them, or you probably did not even know how to solve them, then you could have just improved your probability by using elimination and gone ahead with 50% probabilities. Even if you would have gone ahead with 50% probabilities, on an average, you would have gotten +1 mark per question. So you would have just gotten plus 20 marks for free. Okay. So what? Please explain this problem. Okay. So the problem says that there is a box which is sliding on two inclines. Okay. On two inclines of 45-degree each. So one is frictionless. So here mu is 0. And here there is some friction. Mu is non-zero. So the time taken to slide is, so if T1 is the time taken here, T2 is the time taken here. So what the question is saying is that T2 is n times T1. Then you have been asked about the coefficient of friction. Okay, that is the question. You'll have to read that first. So since I have to find the coefficient of friction when I have been told about the sliding motion, so obviously I cannot, by analyzing sliding motion, the only thing I should be able to judge is mu k, right? How can I judge mu s? Because there is sliding. In sliding, I know the friction that acts is kinetic. So if I had to analyze sliding motion, then the coefficient of friction that I should have been able to judge would have been the mu k. Okay. So only two options have mu k. So I will randomly take a guess now, and I still have 50% chance of getting it right. So even if there is this kind of marking, I told you, even if there is negative marking of this sort, then also I would have made this guess. Okay, why? Because this guess enables me to get +1 mark per question mathematically. Mathematically, probability says that even if I randomly keep selecting two options with 50% probability each, I would end up getting +1 mark per attempt. So if instead of just leaving the questions, if I had, let's say, 10 questions left and let's say 5 minutes left, so in those 5 minutes I would have seen those 10 questions. Let's say for 5 of those 10 questions I could narrow it down to two options. I would have just gone ahead and took guesses. I would have just got 5 marks for free. Okay, all right, why not? Next is using intelligent guesses. So again, you can even arrive at the answer by simply looking at the options and doing some smart guesswork. So things that will help you to get to your answers is, again, one is this technique will work when your options are very different from each other. Okay, or something stands out in the options. Okay, so that is when you can make smart guesses. Other is you can use dimensional analysis. So if your options are all dimensionally different, then you don't even need to solve, just simply use dimensional analysis. Okay, so let's take up an example. So here you've been told a body of mass m accelerates uniformly from rest to v1 in time t1. Instantaneous power delivered by the body as a function of time is. Okay, so if I know about power is defined as work over time, or I can say energy over time, or I can say force into velocity. So the dimensions should be something like this. This, if I see, has the dimensions of momentum, right? mv into time upon time, that is dimensions of momentum. So obviously this is gone. This upward, this has energy, dimensions of energy. This is energy over time. So this is dimensions of energy over time, right? mv square over t. How about this? This has momentum into time. So p into t. How about this one? This is energy, simply energy. Time and time would have gotten cancelled. So this is dimensions of energy. So dimensionally, only one option is satisfying the dimensions of power. The correct answer is B. Okay, got it. So this is a trick that you can use. You're lucky enough that this channel is still not grown, hence we can ask our doubts. Absolutely, family home. Absolutely. Okay. So again, dimensional analysis just quickly would have told me the answer is B. I don't even need to solve this. Okay, I hope you just need to know the dimensions of power. Power is work over time or energy over time or force into velocity. The first clearly has the options which has dimensions of momentum. Second has momentum. This third has momentum into time. This has the dimensions of energy. This is the only one having dimensions of energy over time. That's it. Okay. So immediately you have the correct answer just by looking at your options. Okay. So if in case you did not know how to solve this or you did not have the time to solve this correctly, Just look at the dimensions, reach your answer. Again, an actual question. This is an actual question from a JEE exam. All right. Here is another one. Here is another one. It says a force of this is applied on a particle and it displaces from origin to a point this. Okay. Now I have been asked about the work done, okay, on the particle. So firstly, okay, thank you so much, AP. Okay, no, this is not even physics. This is just common sense. Okay, AP. This is just years of practice. Years of practice. I have given so many competitive exams and I have cracked all of them successfully. So I have developed all these intuitions and tricks. Okay, which I keep using. डॉट प्रोडक्ट तो अलग है, वो भी करने की जरूरत नहीं है, वो भी करने की जरूरत नहीं है. देखो, 3 ऑप्शन पॉजिटिव है. थिंक अबाउट दिस लॉजिकली. 3 ऑप्शंस आर पॉजिटिव, 1 इज नेगेटिव, सो दिस कैन नॉट बी द आंसर. ओके, ट्रस्ट मी. जब भी कभी ऐसा हो, whenever you have such a situation where 3 options are positive and only 1 is negative, then that cannot be the correct answer. Why? Because if you just knew that it is going to be the negative, then you already have that option, right? So usually that will happen. Now, what is interesting is that the numerical value here and the numerical value here is kept the same. So now that is usually done when either of these is supposed to be the answer. Then to confuse you, they generally put one with positive sign, one with negative sign. So this cannot be the answer. Just if I had to take an intelligent guess, I would have said B. I would have just said B. Just if I had to take an intelligent guess, just by looking at the options. Without even looking at the question, I would have simply gone for B. Okay, so that is the logic. Can't believe such questions were asked previous years. They will be gaining मुफ्त के marks. But यार अभी भी होता है ये, अभी भी पूछते हैं. It's not like they have stopped asking these questions. So I don't remember which year it was. I think 17 or 16. I remember I was preparing solutions for a mains paper, and there was some friction, and initial kinetic energy was given as 8 joules. The final kinetic energy was asked, and out of the options, I think the options were some 4 joule, 8 joule, 10 joule, and 12 joule. So immediately the only correct option could have been 4 joule, because if there is kinetic friction acting, the energy would have reduced. Okay. So this is still asked. This was asked in 2016, I think, or 17. I don't remember. One of those years, I remember I was preparing the solutions. So they still ask such questions. So if the total energy, initial energy, this was the initial energy, and the block was sliding over some area, and it was asked what will be its energy, final energy. Okay. Final energy was asked. Okay. Yeah, I know. A lot of people have told me that, Ajo Saran. Yes, I know. I mean, I will take it as a compliment. So 2020 एडवांस में वैसा कुछ नहीं मिलेगा सर. नहीं, एडवांस में नहीं मिलता. एडवांस में नहीं मिलता ये सब. ये मेंस में मिल सकता है. एडवांस में बहुत ही रेयर है. एक दो बार हुआ है that they have asked such questions which you could have figured out from the options, but that will not usually happen very often. Okay. So Lokesh says all JEE aspirants cannot be intelligent like you. Okay, there. So trust me. It's okay. This will help any student, whether they are smart or average. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Okay, these tricks can save time for every student. Okay, don't you worry. Again, now I will also tell you another example. A question I remember was asked in NEET. Okay, a question was asked in NEET. So I'll just quickly take that up. So NEET, trust me, NEET aspirants, if you're watching this, these tricks work like crazy in NEET, in a lot of options. Okay, this will work in every third option at least, or every third question can be solved just by looking at options. Okay, I've seen that. It's crazy. Okay, so in NEET, this was asked that it said that a mass M and mass M like this, and this was hanging and coming down a height h. Okay, so this was released from a height h, and it was told to you that this will strike this, and to what height will the combined mass rise? Will the combined mass 2m rise to what height? Okay, what is the height to which the combined mass would rise? Okay, how to study effectively for physics. Okay, so that's probably discussion for another time. The discussion for today is slightly different. So if you know, okay, so the logic for this could have been very easy. Okay, the logic of this could have been very easy. Man, I was just saying. And sorry, I got a friend. I'm also a dropper, please. Okay, no worries. Even I was a dropper family home, so that's all right. Let's not judge people because of them having dropped. Okay. All right. So this was question that was asked in NEET. I think I don't remember the year again. I remember I was having a paper discussion. Okay. So this is asked in NEET. So a mass m was released from a height h. It strikes another identical mass m. Both of them stick together and rise up to some height. Now you realize if there was no loss of energy in the collision, then height would have been h by 2. Agreed. So if no loss of energy happened, then h dash should have been equal to h by 2. But I know this kind of collision is plastic. In plastic collision, always energy loss happens. So therefore, in plastic collision, I can say in plastic collision or inelastic collision, after that, the height should have been less than h by 2. H dash should be less than h by 2. Only one option was less than h by 2. Okay, only one option was less than h by 2. So just by looking at the options, you would have found the answer. Okay, so these are the kind of tricks that you can keep on using. Okay, all right, guys. Hmm. Okay, thank you. All right, so these are the tricks that I wanted to talk to you about. You would again use them only as a last resort. Please. Now, before you go ahead and start doing all your problems using these tricks, some words of caution. These methods will not work for all the questions, but only for a select few, especially in mains. In advance, it is very rare that any of these techniques will work. So, if you are looking to crack advance, there is no shortcut. Okay, mains you will get shortcut. You will get in mains. I will tell you in mains, roughly 10% of the questions can be solved like this. Mains 10% questions can be solved using options. So trust me, in mains you can do that for 10% questions, which is a lot, which is roughly like 9 questions. So 9 questions you can just solve using options, okay, which is great. Okay. But not all questions. Sometimes obviously the number may go up or down. And in advance it is very rare. In advance, very rare that this will work. Advanced, they design their options by after putting a lot of thought. Okay, advanced hardly works. Hardly any of these will work in advance. So for advance, if you are trying to use these tricks, trust me, it is better not to even try. Okay, you'll just end up wasting a lot of time. Now, none of these methods are foolproof again, and the answer may be wrong. As I said, most of your options are helping you eliminate 2 options. Okay, now you may have ignored something because of which you may have done something wrong in your elimination and you may still get it wrong. So don't blame me if sometimes this doesn't work or sometimes this gets the wrong answer. First, you have to do it very smartly. So even for using these shortcuts, you have to do it very smartly. Then also, as I said, half the times you are only eliminating 2 options. So 2 options are still left. So it's still a matter of chance. Okay. But yeah, I've improved your chance from 25% to 50% by looking at the options, right? So that's the credit you can give me for. I can help you increase your chance of getting the answer correct from 25% to 50%. So I've doubled your chance for getting the answer correct. Okay. In most of the cases, you will be able to eliminate 2 options. So that will definitely happen. But yeah, 100% you don't know the answer for many times. Now, again, these methods should be used as a last resort to maximize the attempts in the least time. So you should not start with these, you should leave them for the end. Okay. Starting, if you just come across some question, then go for this. Okay. I won't say that don't use it, but you do not try to solve initially every problem like this. Okay. So again, leave this for the last 10 minutes of your paper. So leave last 10 minutes of your paper and try and use these techniques for all the questions that you could not attempt. Okay. So trust me, in the last 10 minutes, if you try and solve questions, so you will be probably able to solve. There'll be so much pressure that you'll hardly be able to solve two or three. But with the tricks that I've told you, you'll be able to solve at least five questions in the last 10 minutes with a good enough chance of getting them correct. So five to even 10 questions maybe. Okay, so again, leave it for the end. If in the middle you come across such a question where you think the trick can be applied, then go for it. But do not start looking for such questions only from the very start. Okay. And again, do not rely on these. So these tricks work. They do work, but you can't rely on them and study hard. Okay. ऐसा भी नहीं होना चाहिए. It should not be the case that you are just chilling, not studying, and you are saying, okay, I know the tricks. I know I can get these many marks using the tricks. So you never rely on them. Okay. Do not leave your future on tricks. Use those tricks smartly to better your future, but do not leave your entire future on these tricks. All right. With that, I would like to again wrap up today's session with the famous quote of Thomas Edison. Okay, so there is no substitute to hard work. So smart work is there, but that is only to supplement your result. Okay, the core of your result would be obtained from hard work. So there is no substitute to hard work and knowledge, and no shortcut to success. Okay, again. So remember these points. There is never ever a shortcut to success. If you want to be good, if you want to be really good, then work hard, be smart to even better your performance by using these tricks. But again, keep working hard nonetheless. Why do you take a drop, sir? How much you have scored before drop? So, okay, back in my day, I studied till 12th, I was doing self study. Till 12th, I was doing self study. So, with self study, when I took JEE, I got 4200 rank. Okay. And back when I took JEE, that was long, long time ago, there were only 2500 seats in IITs. So I did not get a seat in IIT. So then I took a drop, joined coachings. And in the next attempt, obviously, I got 447 rank. Okay. And obviously, IIT Delhi. So that is why I took that drop. Okay. Lokesh. So first attempt that I took was by self-study. Okay. In self-study, I did manage a decent enough rank, but I realized that if I got good guidance, if I got good teachers, I can do much, much better. So that is why I decided to take a drop, join coachings, and the next year I did improve my result. Okay. All right. Okay, with that, let's wrap up today's session. And before I leave you, let me remind you that if you haven't gotten your Plus subscriptions, this is how you do it. Go to the Plus section of the app, select your goal as IITJ, click on the Get Subscription button. Don't forget to put the code RD Live in the box where you're supposed, where it says, do you have a code, and get a 10% off. Choose from either the Plus or the Iconic subscription and choose a suitable payment plan after clicking on Proceed to Pay. Now, as I told you, you can now also choose the Iconic subscription, which will take your IITJ preparation to the next level. All right. Thank you so much. Same to you. And guys, happy Merry Christmas, by the way. Those of you, I mean, it's holiday season. So, Merry Christmas to all. And just have fun for maybe one day, okay? But only one day or maybe half a day, okay? So, enjoy. And again, as I said, you have a chance of winning yourself the year Unacademy subscription by taking part in the Unacademy combat. You can also test your knowledge, test your understanding amongst your peers. The next event is going to be happening live on 3rd of Jan. Enroll now using code RD Live. Do well and win yourself some cool prizes. Okay. So locations, whenever you visit NIT Warangal in future, come to my house. It is very close. Sure. Absolutely. All right, those of you who are following us on the JEE English channel, stay connected with us on the Telegram app so that you are receiving all the notifications of all the sessions happening here so that you do not miss out on any of the amazing content provided here. All right, again, if you like today's session, don't forget to press the like button and share it with as many people as you can. So do not be selfish. Okay. Is this useful for me, Shivam? Yes. So this will be useful for anybody who's taking any kind of MCQ competitive exam. Okay, not only JEE, but NEET, even other exams. So all those exams, this will be helpful. Okay. Yes, it will be useful for everyone. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon. All right. So with that, I'll take your leave. My code again, one last time to remind you, is RD Live. Use this code to get your Unacademy subscriptions and enjoy a 10% off. So I'll see you next tomorrow. All right. Till then, you guys keep take care of yourself and Merry Christmas. Have fun for a bit. Okay. Just enjoy. All right. Bye bye and good night.